Hi there. In our previous video, which I've linked down below, we created an app on our machine by typing localhost, and we were able to observe any phrase entered into a box echoed back to us by clicking a button. Today, we'll be modifying this code and add the functionality of a clear button that will clear up anything we previously entered. Welcome back to TechInFive. Today, we'll be creating a new image, and we are going to need something called an IDE, which is a tool that engineers use to write code. Google it and you'll find a bunch of them online, but we'll keep things simple and use a text editor. I recommend Sublime Text. Simply Google Sublime Text Downloads, click on the link, and you'll find links to the 3 mainstream operating systems. I've also provided a link to the code you'll be modifying. Clicking on it will automatically download a zip file, which you can unzip by double-clicking, and explore code package inside it. We are interested, however, in making changes to this index.html file, which you can open using Sublime Text. And now looking at the index.html file we've just downloaded, if you pay attention to some of the code written, you will recognize a few things you saw on the web page, such as the echo button, the tell me a secret prompt, even the space on which the secret is being reflected. Now, let's modify this page by adding another button. I changed some of these values, which I'll explain later, and the label on the button will be clear. What did we really do here? We duplicated the existing line defining the echo button and we created our own called clear. Now we've got 2 buttons, clear and echo. But now let's talk a little bit about these words with the brackets. They are called functions and they define behavior of these buttons. If we go back to our code, let's see step by step how to create these functions for our buttons. We have the echo function to start off with, which retrieves the value written in the box with an ID called secret. This value will give us whatever the user types in there. We then want to make use of the secret by storing it somewhere and reflect it back on the space we provided to echo it. This space, unsurprisingly, has an ID called echo secret. We then want to give it a value with the secret and a phrase prepended to the secret and the plus sign. Now, let's see how we code the behavior of our clear button. Very similar to the echo function, we give it a name. We call it wipe. It can be anything, but it should be descriptive. And now, in this case, we want to empty the value of the box with the ID secret. And to represent an empty value, you just put 2 double quotes together with no space between them. And we do the same for the echo secret span. Now, if you recall our previous discussion, we briefly touched on the command line, how to get it running, and so on. If you don't remember, kindly click on the right and you'll get caught up. I'd like you to go back to that folder that you downloaded. Go on the command line, type cd space. Go back to that folder, the containers one, drag and drop it, and press enter. Now, for Windows users, I've got a link down below with instructions. Open up Docker Desktop, click on Builds on the left, and then Active Builds. And then you've got a command here that you can copy. Copy that command on the command line, but before you press enter, just type the following for me. Just space, -t, space, local, / TechInFive, colon, lesson 1.2. Now you can press enter. I've already done the steps, so it's going to be quick. Now, if you go back to Docker Desktop and you go on images, you'll see that we have a new image now with the tag lesson 1.2. Now, what do we want to do? We want to create a container based on this image, just like we did in the first lesson, right? You click on the image, it gives you all of this info. Go back to the run button and it's going to prompt you for a couple of values. We're going to give it a much more descriptive name this time, my container 2. And then 80, which I promise I will have a lesson on. And now click on run. This looks good to me. Now let's go back to our browser and type localhost. Now you can see we've got a clear button there. Okay, let's type a secret. Got myself a pet apparently last week. I'm gonna echo it and clear it. There you have it. This wraps up our container series. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video, learned a little something. Give us comments on what you'd like to see on TechInFive.